everyone, welcome to the channel Knowledge 24. In today's lecture, we will discuss all the basic concepts of Python just in few minutes, which is very important before your exams or interview. And at the last of the video, I will provide all the basic or summary notes of Python as a PDF format. Let's start with the questions. Now, the first question is, what is Python? So, Python is a interpreted object-oriented programming and high-level programming language with dynamic semantics and which is mainly used for web and application development. Here, dynamic semantics means the data type of a variable can be decided at the runtime. And interpreter is a translator which is execute line by line statement. So, in Python we are using interpreter as a translator. And Python is developed by Guido van Rossum and it is written in C programming language. And Python is a case sensitive language. Case sensitive means the capital letters and small letters treated or work as a different. Okay, so it's a Python. Now the second question is, why Python? Why Python is very spread? So the reason is that first is platform independent, means Python will work on every type of platform or every type of operating system. So the code will be run on every type of platforms. Then it's very easy because it is very similar to the English-like statement. So it's very easy to write, read and learn. And it is again free and open source. Its code is freely available and we can change the code easily. And last is LOC, means reduced line of code, because in Python provides standard large library. So by all these reasons, Python is very popular. Then the next is types of working mode. We have two types of working mode, means for using Python we can use two types of working mode. The first is interactive mode and second is scripting mode. So when we use interactive mode mainly used for executing one command at a time and the result will be displayed on the immediately. While scripting mode is mainly used for creating the programs. So, or it contains like multiple instructions as a single unit as a program. Now, the next question is, what is difference between interactive mode and scripting modes? This is very important questions for the examination. So, what are the differences? Interactive mode. First difference is that in interactive mode we can write one command at a time, while in scripting mode we can write multiple commands as a single unit, which is called program. So we can write multiple commands at a time. Then second difference is that in interactive mode we get the result immediately. Okay, we are writing the single command and then we get the result. But in scripting mode the result will get on the different shell. But in interactive mode the result will be get on the same shell. Then the third difference is that in interactive mode the command will not be saved. But in scripting mode, the commands or the programs will save on the hard disk or memory. And the last difference is that in interactive mode, we are using Python prompt. Python prompt means this is the Python prompt. But in scripting mode, Python prompt is not used. So these are the basic difference. One difference more is that, which is very important, that interactive mode is mainly used for testing and debugging, while scripting mode is mainly used for creating the softwares or creating the program. So these are the differences. Now the next question is, what is keyword and what are the types of keywords? So keyword is a reserved word whose meaning is already defined in Python library. And in the keywords meaning cannot be changed by the user. We have total 33 keywords in Python, and remember that in these 33 keywords we have 3 special keywords whose first letter will be capital, and these are the none, then true, then false. Other than these 3 keywords, all were in small letters. And the next is what is identifier and what are the rules of identifier. So identifier is a name given to the part of the elements of the program, like class, function name, etc. And what are the rules of identifier? So the first rule is that the first letter of a identifier should be underscore or alphabet, small or capital, anything. Then the second rule is that it does not contain any type of special characters other than the underscore. So it will allow only underscore, and other than underscore we cannot use any type of special characters. Then it also contains digits, but after the first letter. Okay, so in first letter we have to use only the underscore or alphabets a or small letters or capital letters. And identifier is also case sensitive, means if you are using capital then we have to write capital only. Okay, and the last rule is that identifier cannot be a keyword, means we have total 33 keywords. So from these 33 keywords we cannot use as a identifier. So these are the rules. We have to remember all these rules for creating programs. Next question is, what is variable and constant? So variable is an identifier whose value can be changed during the execution of the program, while constant is an identifier. It's also an identifier whose value cannot be changed. So this is the variable and constant. Now the next question is, what is indentation? In Python, the role of indentation is very important. Indentation means space at the beginning of the line code. Space at the beginning of the code line. So it is also represent the block of the code. So where we are using block of the code, then we have to use indentation. Then next is, what is comment? Mainly comment is used for users understandability, and in Python we are using two types of comment. First is single line comment, and which is represented by hash, and then second is multi-line comment, which is represented by a single triple quote or double quote, triple double quote. Okay, so it's a multiple comment, and comment is ignored by the interpreter. When we are using flow of execution, then it will ignored by the interpreter. Then the next question is L value and R value. So what is L value? L value mainly represents the memory location or memory address of a variable, and it is on the left side of the assignment operator. And R value means it's a right hand side value of the equal to operator, and it represents the value. Okay, then next is the data type. It's very important topic because all these data type are mainly used in Python, and it's very in a detailed manner. Okay, so what is data type? Data type mainly defines the type of the data a variable can hold, and we have, suppose we are categorized into two types. First is according to this, and second is according to mutable and immutable. So firstly we will discuss numbers, sequence and mapping. So we have three types of data type. Numbers, in this we are using numbers. Then second is sequence, it's a ordered collection of different or multiple items. And third is mapping. Mapping is a unordered collection of different multiple items. In numbers we can use integer values like simple values 1, 2, 3 and so on. Then second is float values. Float values means where we are using decimal point also. Okay, and then complex number means like iota numbers. So these are the numbers, and in integer we can also use boolean values. Boolean values which is true and false values. Okay, so this is the number. Then second is sequence. Sequence means ordered sequence, ordered collection of elements or different multiple types of element. In this we are using three data types: string, list and tuple. So string is a sequence of characters which is enclosed in single, double or triple quote. Then list is it's also a collection of multiple data items, and tuple is also same. So these are the sequence. And last is the mapping. Mapping means unordered collection of different items, and in this we are using only a single data type which is dictionary. Okay, these data types will be discussed in next also. Okay, and other category is that mutable and immutable. It's again very important question, that what is difference between mutable and immutable. So mutable means what? Mutable means the content of the data type can be changed after creating the data type. Okay, but the memory address will always be same in mutable. So what is mutable? Mutable means the data can be changed, but the memory address will always be same. And now in immutable we cannot change the data after creating the first time. So this is immutable, and in immutable if we are changing the data then it will create a new address. So these are the two differences, and the examples of mutable is like mutable we are using list and dictionary and set. But in immutable all these other except these three like int, float, mainly tuple, etc. string, these are the immutable data types. So these are the basic three differences between mutable and immutable. The next question is type function and id function. So type function is mainly defines the data type of a variable or value, while id function is mainly used for defining the address of any type of object. In Python everything is an object, so it will define the address of any object. The next question is print statement, print function. It's very important because in every program of Python we are using print function. So what is the use of print function? We have two use of print function. First use is if we want to display the message as it is, then we will use print function. Then second use is that if we want to display the value of the variable, then again we are using print function. And the syntax of print function is that object, then comma, separator, and is an attribute of print function. So what is the use of separator? Separator is mainly used for ending of the variable, or it's a separator between two variables, and by default separator's value is blank space. Okay, by default the value is separator's value is blank space, and end shows the ending of the print statement. So, and by default the value of the end is new line. If we are not using sep and end, then it will show as a blank space as a separator and end with the new line. And if we are using any type of other special characters, then we have to write sep equal to anything and end equal to anything. So this is the print function. Now the next question is types of operator. So operator is a special symbol which is used for performing any type of operation, and we have mainly these type of operations or operators. The first one is arithmetic operator. You all know that in arithmetic operator we are using plus, minus, multiplication, division. These four are very simple. Then in this we are using this called exponent. Exponent means raised to the power. So it's showing the raised to the power. Then next is this thing. It is called floor division. Floor division means it's different from the division. In this the result we get we will discard the decimal point. If we are getting 3.5 as an answer, then it will discard 0.5. So answer will be 3 according to floor division. Okay, so in this we are using exponent as a raised to the power. For example, 2 raised to power 3 is 8. So we will write as 2 exponent 3. And the last one is in this we are using modulus sign, and modulus means remainder. After division we get the any remaining part, so the answer of remaining part is as a modulus. So this is the arithmetic operator. Then comparison operator. When we compare two values, then we will use comparison operator and the answer will get in a true or false answer. And in comparison operator we are using less than, greater than, less than equal to, greater than equal to, not equal to, and equal to. In equal to we are using 2 times equal. This is the main difference between this equal, comparison equal, and assignment operator. And then next is the logical operator. Logical operator means when we compare two conditions, then we will use logical operators. In logical operators we will use and, or, and not. And when we use and, the condition for and is that if we have conditions and both conditions are true, then the result will be true in and. While in or, at least one condition is true, then the result will be true in or. And not means it's a negation. So comparison and logical operators get the result in a true or false answer. Next is the assignment operator. Assignment operator means like assigning the value or changing the value at the to the variable of the right hand side and assign to the left hand side. In assignment operator we are using equal. Single equal. Single equal means assigning the right hand side value to the left hand side, and this equal is used for comparison. If in we are using like in if or etc. Okay, so this is the assignment operator, and this assignment equal to operator can be used with the arithmetic operators also, like this plus equal to, minus equal to, etc. Then the next is the membership operator. It will check the value is in sequence or not. Means any value is a member of any sequence or not. So in membership operator we are using two operators, in and not in. In sequence or not in sequence. Then next is the identity operator. In identity operator we are using is and is not. So these are the basic operators of Python. And the next again it's related to the operators, and the question is what is precedence and associativity. So what is precedence? Precedence means which operator evaluated first. This is called precedence. And the rule for the precedence is same as a maths. Like if we are using simple mathematical operators, then we are using BODMAS rule. Okay, and other than we have to remember a table which is for the precedence. So these type of questions are very important for the examination. And then what is the associativity? Associativity means when we have two operators of the same precedence, then what order we will follow, and the order will be either left to right or right to left. Remember that right to left order is only for the three operations only, three operators only, and these operators are like exponent. So in when we are using two exponent operators in the same expression, then it will calculate or evaluate it from the right hand side. Then next is the not, and last is the assignment. Every assignment operator will be evaluated from right to left. So this is the associative. Flow of control and types. So what is flow of control? Order of execution of statements in a program is called flow of control, and it have three types: sequential, selection and iteration. Sequential means the execution is in a sequence like 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 7, ABC, etc. So this is the sequence. Then selection means we have multiple conditions and we have to choose a single condition at a time, and it will break the sequence. Then the last is the iteration. Iteration means we have to repeat multiple statements multiple times. So this is the iteration or looping or repetition. Repeat multiple statements again and again till the condition is true. So these are the three types of flow of control. According to this, we are categorize all these statements. Like in sequential, we are using simple program, and then in selection we have to use if-else statement, while in iteration we are using for loop or while loop. So let's see the syntax of all these three. Now the first is if condition. So firstly we will write if, then condition, and then we are using colon. Colon means ending of the header, ending of the condition, and it will start with the indentation. So when we are using, where we are using colon, it means the next step will be as an indentation. So we are providing indentation. Indentation means space at the beginning of the code, so it will show the block of the code. And after this we can also use else statement, then we are using colon, then it will print any type of statement if the condition is false. Then we are using iteration. In iteration we are using for loop or while loop. In for loop the syntax is for any variable, in is a membership operator. Then we are using sequence or range. It's depend. Like if we are using simple sequence means in this we are using like any type of order. We have to like using list. For example, 2, first value is 2, then second value is 5, then third value is 20. Then we will use sequence. And if we are using range means we have to like use the numbers in a sequence only. Range means like suppose we are using 1 to 5, so value will be 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so it's depend on the condition what we will use. Either we can use sequence or we can use range function. Then we will write body of the statement. And last is the while while statement. So again same like this, while, then we will use condition, then ending by the colon, and then the indentation will use, and after this we can use body of the statement. Here in body of the statement again we can use increment or decrement operator here like this. When we are using range, then in range we are using step value. So same as in this, we have to use increment or decrement operator for increase or decrease the value of a variable. So these are the syntax for while and if condition. Now the next question is range function. What's the use of the range function? So range function is mainly used for generating the sequence of numbers, and it is mainly used for used in a for loop. Okay, for loop, and the syntax is like it's start, stop, and step value, and these are separated by the comma. Then start value, the default value of start is 0, and the default value for step is 1. Okay, so start value, if we are not defining start value, then it will start from the 0, and if we are not defining any stop value, then it will ending till the end of the list or any sequence. And step value means how the value will be increased or decreased. So step value like 1, 2, 3, and in minus also. So this is the range function mainly used for generating the sequence or numbers. Then the next question is input function. What's the use of input function? And the main question is that which type of data it will take by the input function. So the answer is input function is mainly used for accepting the data from the user. From the console, if we want to access the data, then we will use input function, and it always take the string values. If we write mathematical number like digits, again it will take as a string value. So if you want to use any digits or any other thing, then we have to convert the data type into particular this. For this we are using type conversion functions like integer. If you want integer values, then we have to use int, then we will use input function. Or other type conversion functions are float, str, bool, etc. And then next question is errors. So what is error? Error means anything in the code that prevents the program from compilation and execution successfully. And we have mainly three types of error: compilation error, logical error, and runtime error. Compilation error occurs during the compile time, and in this we categorize again in two parts: syntax error and semantics error. Syntax error means when the violation of the programming rules of the programming language, then it will occur as a syntax error. For example, we are missing colon, or we are not using indentation. So these are the grammatical rules. So when we violation of the rule, then it will as a syntax error. Then second is semantics error, when the meaning of the statement is not meaningful. Like the statements are not meaningful, then it's a semantics error. For example, if we write a plus b equal to c, then it is not meaningful for the interpreter. So it will as a semantic error. Then next is the logical error. In logical error, we get the execution will be done, but we get the output as incorrectly or wrong output, or it will work as a its behavior is like incomplete. Okay, so logical means it will execute the program, but we get the result as a not correct result. For example, if we have to add two numbers and I write a minus b, then it will give the result as a subtraction. So this is the logical, means we are using wrong logic. It will fully dependent on the user. And the last one is the runtime error. Runtime error means it's an abnormal termination of the program, and in this we are using, for example, division by zero error. Division by zero error. So these are the basic three errors in Python. And the next question is related to data types. So first is string. String is a sequence of characters which enclosed in single quote, double quote, or triple quote. Okay, so when we are using single, double quote, or triple quote, it means it's a string. Okay, now second is a list, and list is a ordered sequence. Like in list we are using, it's a sequence type, sequence data type. So list is a ordered sequence type for storing multiple values of the different data type, and it enclosed in square bracket. Okay, so we already discussed that string will be in a single quote, double quote, and list is represented in a form of square bracket, and in this we can use different type of data type. In this, like we can use integer, float, string, etc. Then next is the tuple, and tuple is represented in the form of parenthesis, and it is also a sequence data type or ordered sequence. But what is the difference between list and tuple? It's a very important question, that what is the difference between list and tuple? So list is mutable data type, while tuple is immutable data type. This is the main difference. The second difference, for list we are using square bracket, and for tuple we are using parenthesis. Then, and by default, if we are using any type of sequence, then the by default value is as a tuple. For example, if we write a equal to 20, 40. Now in this we are not using any type of parenthesis or bracket, then by default the value is as a tuple. Okay, and again if we write parenthesis and we are writing 20, then we are using, when we are using single element in a tuple, then the data type of this is as an integer. If we want to write as a tuple, then we have to write a single element with the comma, then it will work as a tuple. So these are the main thing we have to remember in tuple. Okay, so by default, if we are not using any parenthesis, then by default the value is as a tuple, while list is enclosed in square bracket and tuple enclosed in small parenthesis. And then what is indexing? Indexing means it's a technique through which we can access each element of any type of sequence. Okay, or indexing can be a positive or negative. So positive indexing means it will start from 0 to n minus 1. This is the positive indexing. For example, like 20, 40. These are two elements. So the first starting will be 0 and 1. So n minus 1. This is the positive indexing, and negative indexing will start from minus 1 to minus n, like this, minus 1 to minus n. So this is the positive indexing and it's a negative indexing, and by default the value will be start from the 0 only. Always in sequence we have to remember that in a sequence data type the index value always will start from the 0 and till the end of the elements. So this is the index, means accessing each element of any type of sequence. Then next is the slicing. What do you mean by slicing? Slicing means like part of a string, part of the list or part of the tuple. So we can access some part of any type of sequence, then it's a slicing. And what is the syntax for slicing? Slicing syntax is any type of list name, then any sequence name, then we are using square bracket. Here square bracket is not meaning as a list, it's a slicing. Slicing can be of any type of data type, like slicing can be of string, can be of list, can be of tuple. Okay, so the syntax for this is start value. Here we are using colon, then stop value, again we are using colon, and then step value. Again same, starting value means by default 0, step value by default is 1, and stop value is n. Okay, so this is the slicing, and it can be negative also, because in this we are using negative indexing like minus 1 to minus n. And then in all these sequence type we are using concatenation, repetition and membership operators. So what do we mean by concatenation? Concatenation means it's a joining of two strings or joining of two lists or tuple. Okay, so concatenation means not a adding. Concatenation means joining two sequence. For this we are using plus sign. Plus means addition for when we are using integer numbers or float numbers. But when we are using plus operator with the string values or any type of list or tuple value, then it will work as a concatenation. So this is the concatenation. And next is the repetition. Repetition means element can be repeated how many times? It will show the repetition. In repetition we have to use exactly one integer number and other will be as a string or list. So any sequence into any integer number. So the repetition sign is multiplication sign, and the membership operator, we know that membership operator in and not in which already discussed in previous thing. Okay, so these are the operations performed on string, list and tuple. And last is the dictionary. Dictionary is a mapping type, mapping data type. Mapping data type means it's an unordered sequence of elements or different elements, and in this we are using curly braces. Okay, in curly braces we are using key value pair, and key value pair is separated by colon. Key value pair is separated by colon, and item will be separated by the commas. For example, A1, comma, again, and so on. So this is the dictionary. In dictionary we are not following any type of order. Means the index value will not start from the 0 by default. In this, according to users, we can change our values or we can assign the values to the keys. And the index will, in list and tuple we are using indexing, in string also, but in the dictionary we are using key. Key works as an index, but according to users, keys value can be anything like alphabets or digits, anything. So this is the dictionary. So there is an important question, which is that how you can differentiate or how can you identify the data type. So the answer is that if we are using like single quote, double quote or triple quote, it means it's a string. Then if we are using square bracket, then it means it's a list. If we are using simple parenthesis, again it means tuple. And if we are using curly braces, then it means it's a dictionary. So these are the important topics or important concepts related to Python which are discussed in this lecture. I hope you got all these things in just in few minutes, and at last I am sharing a PDF format. In this you get all the summary notes of Python. Thank you.